It is a Thursday afternoon, grade 10 to 12, maths lit. I hope you guys are ready. You're excited just as I am. I am Looney and I'm never alone. Pete, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Looney, absolutely. And
Good,
welcome,
good.
Mind Centers.
Yes. So what are we doing on today's show?
Well, today, folk, we're busy doing measurement. We're going to be looking at work that comes from both the grade 10 and 11 as well as the grade 12 syllabus. So no matter what grade you're in, don't you dare go away. You keep watching, all right?
Great.
Looney.
Mindsetters, you heard it. As you can see, I'm surrounded by greatness here in studio. We're not alone, so I'll ask one of the students. Just tell me where you're from, what you're doing here, what's your name, all of that.
Hi, I'm Kayakazi Debe. I'm from Gwazakeli High School, from Port Elizabeth, and we are on an educational tour.
Great. So guys, we've got Gwaza Kele in the house. They're from PE, all the way from the Eastern Cape, where I'm from. So I'm glad to have my homies here in studio with me. Thank you so much to Macmillan for sponsoring our show. Can you guys just say hi to the camera? Hi! So our show is sponsored by Macmillan, guys. Don't forget to communicate with us on Facebook. Our handle is facebook.com/LearnExtra. On Twitter, we are on Twitter @LearnExtra. Don't forget to download the show notes, the videos, the schedules, anything you want to know about Mindset, the products we offer, everything on learnextra.co.za/live. I will be posting the notes and everything else you need about this lesson on our show. So Pete, let's get straight to measurement.
Right, let's get going. Guys, it's a great day for three reasons. Reason number one, it's Thursday afternoon, and Thursday afternoon means it's quarter to Friday, and you know what Friday means? Friday means it's weekend, which is always great news. The second great reason today, we got phenomenal folk here in the studio with us, all the way from Port Elizabeth, and it's really great having you guys. So welcome, and I'm going to be using some of you later on in the show just to help me with one or two little experiments, okay? And reason number three, guys, why it's such a great day is because we're busy with mathematical literacy. And you know my feeling on it, maths literacy is the way to go, I think anyway, okay? Because we deal with real life things, we don't deal with X's and Y's and Z's and all those boring stuff. We deal with real things, as you're going to see later on. Okay, so our topic for today is measurement. Let's get going with it, and one of the very first questions that you could come across in grade 10, and some of the concepts you need to understand from grade 10 is what instrument is best suited to measure certain things. Okay, so what instrument would you use if you wanted to measure the length of a textbook? Okay, so we are going to probably use a ruler. What instrument is best if you want to measure the width of a classroom? Well, I would say using a ruler wouldn't quite be ideal. Then I think the better thing would be to use a tape measure. All right, that kind of thing. And we're going to show this to you right now. All right, so you guys over here by the desk, and I'm going to stand by the desk. I have a ruler, okay? And with this ruler, it's a 30-centimeter ruler. Cool? You two girls are going to measure the length of this desk from this end all the way through to this end, okay? You're going to help each other, got it? And you're then going to work out how long the distance is, all right? At the same time, folks, we're going to have a little race, okay? Myself and I'm sorry, I've just got in the studio, I haven't even learnt names. Yeah, okay. So me and the gentleman on our left, what we are going to do is we are going to have a race against the two ladies, and we're going to show that guys are better than girls. Okay, we know that already, we don't need to prove it, but nevertheless, let's show our views out there. Okay, so ladies, you're going to measure using a ruler, got it? Okay, and we are going to measure using a tape measure. You got that? Okay, so if you get your ruler on the end, and you can hold this, all right, and when, do you want to hold there? Okay, and you girls, when I say go, we're going to go. All right, on your marks, get set, go. Okay, we've worked it out, 1.74 meters. And you girls, have you finished it? Of course they haven't finished. All right, stop measuring, ladies. Of course the girls haven't measured yet. Why? Because they're using a tool that's actually inappropriate for that kind of measurement. Right? Imagine if we had to measure the length or the width of a classroom and we gave them that little 30-centimeter rule and we said, off you go, right? And then we, guys, used a full tape measure. I think this is the better option to go. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely, it makes sense. So we've got to use the right tool. Now this tape measure is pretty long, and so I could use it for a number of things. Let me show you how long it is. Do you want to come stand here next to me? All right, hopefully you in the shot, and you can come stand over here next to me. Hopefully you in the shot, you got that? Okay, I want you to hold your arm out. Okay, let's just come in a little bit more, and you there, right. Now I want you to hold this tape measure. Okay, are you ready? Cool? And here we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to show how long this tape measure is, and by doing that we're actually able now to show you that we could measure very long distances. Okay, we're still going, right, and in fact we're only on 10 meters, and the truth is this thing is actually 20 meters long. Okay, how long is a soccer field? Guys, you should know. About 100 meters, eh? Right about there, from the one goal line to the other. So if this is 20 meters, would you like to measure out a soccer field using this tape measure, or hold up the ruler there? Okay, let's see the view, let the viewers see it. Or would you prefer to use the ruler? Obviously the tape measure makes a lot more sense, wouldn't you agree? So they're different tools. But here's another question. Even though this tape measure is a phenomenal tool, and I can measure up to 20 meters, would I want to use this if I'm measuring the distance between Johannesburg and Port Elizabeth? No, not at all. Okay, why not? Okay, it's a very, very long distance. All right, and this is only 20 meters. That means if I were in my car, I would just let down the handbrake, drive a little way, slam brakes, measure out 20, wind up the tape measure, stop. Start the car again, start driving off, stop 20 meters later because I'm going to run out of tape, have to wind it up again. Guys, it's going to take us forever, all right, to get from Joburg to PE. Now, did you guys come here by plane, or did you come here by car or bus?
We came by plane.
You came by plane.
Oh,
phenomenal
so
stuff. All right, so that's a wonderful, wonderful experience. Okay, and how long did it take you by plane?
2 hours.
Just under 2 hours, I think it is. Okay, which is absolutely great. Now, if, let's say, the pilot had to measure how far he was flying, okay, what's he going to use? He's going to use a special instrument, isn't he? Okay, does anyone know what this instrument's called? Or if I'm driving in my car and I'm driving from Joburg to PE, what instrument am I going to use? Anyone know?
Odometer?
Right, an odometer, okay, all right. And that's the thing that's at the bottom of your car where you see the actual speed. You know that little dial, your speedometer, and underneath there little numbers that click over. All right, so that's going to help me with my distance. All right, you can drop the tape measure. All right, I'm going to give this to you, and you're going to stand there and wind it up while the rest of the show carries on for me. All right, okay, so we can use different things for different measurements. Now, so far we've just dealt with measurement, all right? But there are other things that we need to look at. So we could also look at capacity. For example, how much water, okay, we can fit into a certain measurement. Or we could look at mass, okay? And if we were looking at mass, we could do it in kilograms, we could use grams, we could even use milligrams. Okay, if we're measuring something very, very, very lightly, okay. If we're measuring temperature, what are we going to use?
Degrees.
Okay, the unit is going to be degrees, what?
Celsius.
Celsius, if we're in South Africa, right? If I lived in America, what would I use? Anyone know?
Fahrenheit?
Degree Fahrenheit. All right, and we've got to learn to be able to convert degrees C into degree F, okay, or degrees Fahrenheit into degrees Celsius, okay, but we'll learn more about that later on. Now, what I've got here is I've got 2 thermometers, okay, in fact, I've got more than 2 thermometers, but I'm only going to use 2 for now, and what we're going to do is we are going to measure the temperature of 2 of our guests and see if they're actually sick or if they're all right. Okay, so let's go for it. Okay, I'm going to put, you want to slide that under your tongue, all right? I did clean it last year, so it should be okay.
Last
all
year.
right. There we go. And Looney, I'm going to, because you talk too much, might slide that under your tongue. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to keep that under your tongue just for a few minutes. Okay? And while we're doing that, we're going to get on with another experiment. Right, so this is it. Guys, over here, I have a measuring jug, all right? And it goes from 50 mils all the way to 250 mils. What do you know about 250 mils? What's it equal to? 1 cup, isn't it? Okay, so 1 cup is the same as 250 mils. Right, now guys, what I'm going to ask you to do is quite simply this. I want you to, in this jug I have water, okay, and I want you guys, right, so the 3 of you, this one can't do anything because the temperature's going way sky high, but the 3 of you, what's going to happen is, you're going to take this, right, take it, and you are going to get a cup of water. Okay. Got that? Which is how many mils? 250 mils. And once you got 250 mils, you're going to pour it into this glass dish here. Right. You, on the other hand, have got a little cup here. And it's quite cute, this cup, but it's 30 mils. Right? And you're going to keep going until you get a cup of water. Yeesh, now we've got to do some maths here, hey? So, 250 mils is a cup. How am I going to work out how many cups I need? I'm going to have to take 250 mils and divide it by 30 mils to work out how many of these I need. So let's do that right here, guys, on the calculator. We're going to say, right, we're looking for 250 mils. I'm going to divide it by 30 milliliters, and it works out that you're going to have an 8 cups plus a third. All right? Okay? So it's going to be a race, and you're only going to get going when I tell you to. Right. Now, you, on the other hand, have a very special little thing. Okay? Now, this little thing here is sometimes used when we need to suck up medicine, okay? And then we need to measure out a precise amount of medication. Especially one day when you guys are older and you've got kids and the kid gets sick and the doctor says, give your kid 0.5 milliliter of cough mixture. Okay? Or 0.5 milliliter of this medicine or that medicine. Now, to get 0.5 milliliter, oh my goodness, that's quite difficult. So we use this very special little kind of contraption. Almost looks like a thermometer. Okay? And then what we do is we put it in and we suck up as much as we need. Now, the most you can suck up here is 3 mils. Right. How many of these are you going to have to do? Okay, 250 divided by 3. So let's do that. Clear our calculator. So we want 250 milliliters. We're going to divide it by 3 milliliters, and it works out you're going to need to do this 83 times and a third. You got it? Okay? So it's a race, folk. We want to see who's going to finish first. Is it going to be our chap with the big measuring jug or cup, right? Is it going to be our little, I was going to say a tot cup, but I'm not allowed to say that on the air. Hey, no, but it's not. It's a little medicine measuring jug, okay? Or is it going to be our little measuring little suction thing? All right, we will have to see. Looney, this is a wonderful show because you can't talk at all with this thing in your mouth. I think it's fantastic. Okay, right, folks. Are you ready to go? Here's the water. Let's put it in the middle so you each have equal opportunity. All right? And are we ready to go? Yes. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and away they go. All right, and it's a huge race, and who's going to win? Who's going to win? Here we go. We're still trying to get up water in the 130 millimeter jug. We're trying to get water sucked up. Right, we got 3 mils in the cup there, or in the glass jug. And have we got a cup yet? Not yet, not yet. Have we got a cup? Got a cup of water. Right, ladies, stop. Okay. All right. Now, you two ladies are quite sad and pathetic, aren't you? Okay. Because you didn't get far at all. All right. Why is that? Because you were using the wrong instrument, weren't you? Okay. If I said to you that I've got a tiny little baby and he needs 0.5 milliliter of medication, are you going to be any good to me? No, not at all. Not with this. You try to find half a milliliter here, folks, and you're going to have a problem. Do you agree? Okay? Half a milliliter on this thing, well, you got a better chance, but geez, it doesn't even show half a milliliter. You're going to be the person for the job.
Yes.
Would you agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. So, folks, do we understand then that we have different instruments for different juices? You got that? Okay. Now, our two ladies have had this thing that's stuck in their mouth for quite some time, which is quite fun. So we want to see how, if you're okay, so let's just see this quickly. And we're going to hold up this thermometer. By the way, we used this the other day because my dog wasn't feeling well. No, I'm joking. We'd never do that to you. Not at all. We used that one. All right, so let's go. All right, it looks like you're kind of healthy. Your temperature is going well. It's just over 37. Here we go, Lenny. Let's just check over here. All right, we got problems here. Okay, folk, we have a problem here. All right. The temperature's not even reading on the scale here. You're cold-blooded. It's what we always thought, Lenny. All right, folk, can you see how we're using this? All right, now, let's say, for some reason, I wanted to measure the temperature inside a volcano. Okay, I wanted to measure how hot is lava that comes shooting out of a temperature. Am I going to use this thing, guys? No. Not at all, hey? Because this thing goes to a maximum of around about 40 degrees. And we know lava is a little warmer than 40 degrees. Do you agree with me? Yes. Okay. So we would use a thermometer that can go screeching up, way up, to high temperatures. How hot's a volcano? Lenny, do you know?
No.
You don't know? Yeah, maybe you can Google it while we're talking,
cool.
and then we'll be able to give the answer to our viewers. All right. But again, folks, different equipment for different juices. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, the guys here standing at the table, you will see that we have 4 containers. Why don't you make sure everyone's got a container? One's got sugar, one's got rice. No, I'm lying. One's got sugar, one's got flour, one's got peanuts, and one has got the phenomenal chips. But we're not allowed to tell you what chips they are because we're on the end. We're not allowed to advertise, eh? But I absolutely love cheese curls. All right, so what we're going to do now is this. We are going to measure a cup of each of those things that you have. Okay? Because now what we need to understand is this. And here's the question. Even though we're going to get exactly a cup of sugar, and a cup of flour, and a cup of cheese curls, and a cup of nuts, are they going to weigh the same? And that's what we need to look at. And we need to say, well, if not, why not? Okay? So, let's go for it. Do we need to take an ad break, or have we got time? In fact, we're going to take an ad break, guys. Okay. But I'm not allowed to say that because that's not my job. Lenny, it's your job. Yeah.
Guys, we are going to take a very short ad break. I'd just like to send a quick shout out to the Future Ed people watching live. Hi to you. Hi, Abram. Hi, everybody. Hi. We are going to take a very short ad break, guys, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back straight after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters, from that very short break. I hope you guys are refreshed. You had some juice, you had some water, you're ready to learn measurement with Pete. I'd just like to challenge all the people at Future Ed. Post on our Facebook page. It is facebook.com/learnextra. Chat to us, guys. Tell us what's going on, if you're enjoying the show, if you want to see something different here, if you want to see Pete doing hand tricks, and and all of that stuff. But I'd like to send it straight back to Pete.
Okay, well, don't say that at all because it's not going to happen. All right. Welcome back, folks. So we're busy looking at measurement and everything. And so what we said just before the ad break was we are going to measure a cupful of sugar, a cupful of flour, a cupful of chips, okay, and a cupful of nuts, right? And then we're going to weigh each of those and see if a cup of flour and a cup of sugar weighs the same, or a cup of chips and a cup of nuts weigh the same. All right, so let's get going. First thing we've got to do is, we've got a glass bowl there on the counter, okay? I'm going to ask one of you just to put it on the scale, and so we can measure what the weight of it is. All right, is it on? Okay, let's just get it on. It's just going to get a while to get on. Oh, is it on?
Yes.
Okay, and right. How heavy is that?
456.
400 and?
56
Okay, 456 what?
Grams.
Grams, okay. How do you know it's grams? Okay, why is it not kilograms? Okay, because first of all, it says on the scale it's grams, okay? And second of all, folks, we got to use a bit of common sense here. Okay, if that bowl was 456 kilograms, yes, luck. I tell you what, you would need muscles and a half to pick it up and put it on there. Okay, that means that bowl would be heavier than me, and that's saying a lot. All right, so we know it's grams. Okay, so let's go right on the end. We've got sugar there. We've measured out a cup of sugar.
Yes.
Agreed? Right, pour it in the bowl, and cool. Right, and while we're looking at that weight, we're going to start filling that with flour. All right, so how much does that now weigh? We're talking with sugar, hey? Right, what are we looking at?
685 grams.
685 grams. Do you agree? So I know I've got 685 grams, 685, minus, what was this, 456, minus 456 grams of the bowl, which means my sugar is 229 grams. So it's 229 grams. Okay, great. The next thing we're going to start doing now is looking at the flour. Have we got a cup of flour?
Yes.
All right, great. Let's take the sugar out the bowl. Fantastic. Sugar back on, the bowl back on. Fantastic. Make sure every bit's out. And flour in. Okay, here we go. Right. What is the mass of our flour?
606 grams.
606.
Yes.
Yes, big difference, eh? Okay, so let's have a look here quickly. Out comes our calculator. We got 606 minus the 456 grams of the bowl, which gives me 150 grams. Okay, cool. So we got 150 grams of flour. Now the next thing we're going to start looking at is our chips. Okay. So our chips now is da-da-da-dum. Here we go.
Wow.
475 grams.
475 grams. Okay. So back here now we've got 475 grams minus the 456 grams of the bowl, which gives me 19 grams. Okay. 19 grams is what a cup of chips weighs. All right. Finally, then we're looking at some nuts. Okay. And again, Looney, we're not talking about you. We're looking at real nuts. Okay. So here we go. The nuts. Have we got a cup yet? Yeah, great. Right. Let's go. Nuts are
618 grams.
618 grams. Okay, fantastic. So again, now we've got 618 grams minus the 456 grams of the bowl, which gives me 162. So I've got 162 grams of nuts. Okay. Ish. So now here's the thing. Looking at that, why do you think all those things have a different mass?
Because of
They're
the
different. And
In weight.
All right, each one weighs slightly differently. Okay, but why is that? Because of the space, first of all, between. There was a lot of space with the chips. Do you agree?
Yes.
So if I were to look at my chips again, and let's go closer. So if I were to look at these chips, you can see there's a lot of gaps in between.
yes.
Looney wants a chip. I can
No,
just
can
see
you-
this.
can
All
you
right, Looney,
please
go on,
just-
grab one.
No.
No, please do.
But
Please,
can-
I insist.
Pete, can
Okay, no, she doesn't
Thanks.
want to. All right, so now if I were to look at the sugar, okay, and let's go up and look at the sugar, very little gaps in between the sugar. So there's a concentration of sugar here. Got that? Okay, so where my menu or recipe, let's say I'm baking a cake, and the recipe says you need a cup of sugar. I can't say, well, hey, a cup's 19 grams, so I'll just use 19 grams of sugar, okay? Because chips, a cup of chips is 19 grams. In the same way, if I said I need a cup of chips, okay, for a recipe. Why would we use chips in a recipe? I have no idea, but let's just pretend we are. Okay, sounds like a fantastic recipe. Okay, so we got a cup, and we want to put chips inside the cup. And we say, the recipe requires 1 cup of chips. We can't say, cool, let's go 229 grams of chips. Okay, guys, then we got a problem, hey? Because a big packet is how many grams? It's about 150 grams for one of those big things. So we're going to be needing a good 1 3/4 to get that, and that's not a cup. Do you understand that? Okay. So we need to understand then, folk, that different tools for different uses. Okay. Now, another example I want to give you. If you look at that little scale. All right, now pass me the scale. Okay, so here's the scale, all right? This scale is comes from our home, so my wife's probably looking for it right now, but anyway, I'll just sneak it in the cupboard when we get home, and she says, where's my scale? I'll say, here it is, we're here all the time. Okay, so here's the scale. Now, we are to put this on the ground, okay? And now I'm going to stand on the scale, and we're going to measure how heavy I am, okay? Now, I don't know why you're all laughing and having this reaction here. Is there a problem, okay?
On which say on that scale?
If I stand on this scale.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
why not, Leanie?
No, go ahead.
You think so?
Let's see.
Okay. I love my wife too much to do that. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disappear for a minute, just a minute, okay? I'm coming back
Much
with a
better.
cruddle.
Much
Okay,
better.
so here it is. Now we put it on the ground, and folk, now I can stand on it with confidence. Okay, so I stand on it, and you can see it goes to 30 kilograms. Okay, so it's not heavy at all. All right, but it can take my mess. Do you agree? You're laughing here, Lenny. You don't
30
believe?
kilograms.
Sorry,
30 kilograms.
30 kilograms. You want to see?
Yes, show me.
Okay,
Let us
come
see.
stand here. Okay, did
Show
you see
me,
it?
Show me.
Okay.
Is it
What, you
on?
got to watch quickly. You got to
Okay.
watch quickly. Did you see it?
Ah, but the lies. But the lies. The
It said
lies.
30, look.
Go on and stand. You're supposed to stand there and like wait.
Off you go.
Ah.
All right, we got a problem here. Okay. All right, folks. So that scale can take my weight. The kitchen one can't. In the same way, if I had to say to you guys, here's a scale, all right, please measure 30 grams for me. Would this be a good tool?
No.
Not at all, because this is only measuring kilograms, okay, or hundreds of grams. So we'd have a problem if I took this to my wife, okay, and said, here it is, bake me a cake. In fact, that won't be a problem. That would be actually quite cool. Imagine the size of
And
cake
then
I'd
you
get.
weigh 30
like,
kilograms.
20 kilograms of flour. Here we go. Okay. All right. So that is for me. This little lighty over here is for our kitchen. And it's important for us not to get the two confused at all. Okay. So guys, very basic. I know we've been talking simplistic terms here, but we do need to understand those basic concepts, and that's what's required from you in grade 10. Okay. Won't you put that down for me? Fantastic. All right. So, time for us now to move on. Let's have a look at a few other questions. All right. So, now we've been talking about the units of measurement, okay? And we've been saying that were I to measure a classroom, I'm not going to use little millimeters, I'd probably use meters. And were I to measure the distance between Johannesburg and Port Elizabeth, I'm not going to use meters either. So then we're going to start using kilometers, absolutely. All right, okay. So now, we need to be able to convert meters to kilometers, meters to millimeters, or millimeters to kilometers, or millimeters to meters, and we've got to know how to do that. Now, you guys out there, if you've watched me before, you will know that I'm a very simple person, okay? My brain is very small. It only takes a certain amount of knowledge, and if I put too much in, then my whole life becomes confusing. Okay, so this is what I measure or use when I've got to do conversions. Right. I know my important measurements, the ones we use in Maths Lit, are millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. All right. Now I'm going to show you the jump between the two, all right, or between all four. Millimeters to centimeters, centimeters to meters, meters to kilometers. I'm going to use a different color here. Why? Just because I want to. Okay. So millimeters to centimeters, there's a jump of 10. Centimeters to meters, a jump of 100. And meters to kilometers, a jump of 1,000. Okay. How easy is that, eh? So it's just 10, 100, and 1,000. That's all I've got to measure. Remember, 10, 100, 1,000. So if I'm converting millimeters to kilometers, I don't have to learn the fact that there are a million millimeters in a kilometer. Okay? Sure, because that's an extra fact. Or how many centimeters in a kilometer? 100,000. Sure, that's an extra fact. All I'm going to do on my exam paper is I'm going to write millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers, 10, 100, 1,000. So, if I'm converting millimeters to meters, there's a difference of 10 and a difference of 100. Okay? So I've just learned one thing, and I can do a whole lot of different conversions. Got that? Okay. And that's important even in matric. In matric, we have people who get this wrong, and it drives me insane when I'm marking papers, and I think, man, this is so basic. Gotta know the basics, folk. If you don't know the basics, you can't get this kind of thing right. Okay, so here we go. I've got 132,45 meters. I want to change that to kilometers. Okay, now if I'm changing to that going that way, I'm going to divide and multiply.
Multiply.
Some say multiply, some say divide, others say nothing. Okay. Are there going to be more kilometers or less kilometers in a millimeter? Less. So what am I going to do? Divide. Okay? And if I'm going from kilometers to millimeters, I'm going to multiply. Okay, so now that we know that. So guys, if I was writing an exam, whether I'm in grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, and I start my section on measurement, this thing over here, let me put it in white. I'm going to draw that on the top of my question paper. Why? Because that is such a vital and an important tool. All right, so I've got 132.45 meters. Now, meters to kilometers. So I'm here, and I'm going to kilometers. What's the difference between meters and kilometers? What's the jump? 1,000, okay? So I've got 1,000. I'm going meters to kilometers, so I'm going to divide or multiply. No, meters to kilometers? Divide. Okay, so we dividing to work out how many kilometers. All right. Now, I know you know how to do this, because I know when you see I'm dividing by 1,000, you're just going to move that comma. All right, and you guys here are quite bright, so you'd be able to give me the answer straight away. What is the answer? 0, 13245 kilometers. Agreed? Yes. Okay. Now let me tell you guys something. Okay, how many of you here on matric? There's 2, 3 of you. Okay, and you're in grade?
Grade 11.
Grade 11?
10.
And grade 10. Okay. When you're in grade 10 and grade 11, and you've got to write an exam, you get nervous. Agreed?
Yes.
And your heart begins to beat and you get a little nervous and think, geez, I really hope I've learned. Okay. When you get to grade 12, it's 10 times worse than that. Yes. Okay. You're an absolute nervous wreck. Agreed? Okay. But here's the bad news for you guys. You haven't written your finals yet. And when you get your finals, it's 10 times worse than your July exam because you are so nervous. And what happens when you're nervous? What do you begin to do? You make silly, careless mistakes. Okay? And I have a rule in my classroom. Okay? And it's a simple rule. You use your calculator. I don't care what it's for, folk. Use the calculator. You know why? Your calculator doesn't get nervous. So it's not going to make silly, stupid mistakes like you and like I would. Okay, so on my calculator now, I'm going to say, right, we've got 132.45. We're dividing it now by 1,000, and my answer is, and voila, there it is, 0.13245. Okay, so calculators is not nervous. I'm nervous, right? So I'm going to use it. Okay, next one. Let's move on. Now, we want to convert 132, 45 meters, and we want to change it to millimeters, right? What is the difference between meters and millimeters? Well, guys, I'm not going to look at that and learn off by heart that it's 1,000. I'm going to say, I know meters to centimeters is 100, okay? And centimeters to millimeters is 10. Agreed? You don't have to do it this way. I just like to do it this way. Why? Because it's less things for me to learn for my final exam. Now, we're going from meters to millimeters. Am I multiplying or dividing?
Multiplying.
I'm multiplying. My answer is going to get bigger. So we're going to multiply. Right. In other words, we're multiplying by 1,000. Now, you guys know what the answer is. What's the answer?
0.
How much?
0.
132,450. Let's check if we're right. Okay? Up comes our answer here. Right, so we got 132.45. We're multiplying it by 100. Okay, to get the meters to centimeters, then multiplying it by 10 to get the centimeters to millimeters. Voila, there's my answer.
Missing one.
Oh, have I missed one? Yeah, I
Yes.
pushed the wrong button here, Somni. Hey, over here. Oh dear. Okay, so I pushed 1132 instead of 132. All right. So again, who made the mistake? Me or the calculator?
You.
Me, absolutely. All right, and guys, I always make careless mistakes, and that's why I always got to check my work, and you've got to do that as well. In fact, I better go and check and have a break because I'm going to make another careless mistake unless I rest my brain.
Please do that. Okay, cool. Guys, we are going to take a very short break. I'd just like to make a big announcement after the break, so make sure you're staying tuned and you're watching and you're glued to your screens, guys. We'll be back straight after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Like I said before the break, I have a big announcement. So tonight on Connections 319 on this channel, guys, 7:15 tonight, we have amazing guests. We've got Bricks. If you know Bricks, he's that singer. That nice one, yes. We've got Bricks, we've got Razorcut, we've got Soweto's finest dance crew. We've got, yes, and Cruz. So if you guys would please join into Connections. Connect with them, guys. Luto, United, and Tucano. 7:15 tonight. Go on to facebook.com/Mindset Connections and like their page, and you'll be in for a huge surprise. Amazing guests, guys. Ask all your questions. Go on their page. Ask the questions that you want to ask, and then they'll read them during the live show. So I hope you guys watch and you tune in because it's going to be an amazing show. So with all that said, Pete, I'll take it straight back to you.
Now, when you said Cruise is on the show, is that Tom Cruise?
No, unfortunately, hey, it's another
Okay.
cruise, South Africa. We couldn't get him in time, so
Okay.
yeah.
But sounds like a great show. So don't forget that 7:15 tonight on this very channel. Okay, I'll be watching too. I think it should be quite
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
And they discuss teenage problems and
Yes,
teenage
but today
things.
they're discussing like their careers and the MTN 8
Okay.
competition that's going on in the Wafa Wafa. Like it's all got to do with the soccer, and they're like telling them how they got inspired to be musicians. So it's a fun show. Fun show.
Sounds like fun. Not as fun as our show, though.
Of course.
Okay, so let's carry on with our show. We're busy looking at measurements, and we were looking at converting millimeters to centimeters and centimeters to meters and kilometers and all that kind of thing. Now, in your exam paper at the end of grade 12, and maybe even grade 11, okay, and maybe grade 10, if your teacher's in a bad mood, okay, when you set your paper. But you might get a question like this. Let's have a look at it. Convert 2,5 centimeters squared to millimeters squared. Yeesh. How many millimeters in a centimeter? We've said this, guys. 10. Okay, absolutely. So I know I've got 2,5 centimeters, and I want to change it to millimeters. Now we know the difference between centimeters and millimeters. The jump is 10, okay? And are we going to multiply by 10 or divide by 10? We're going to multiply, agree? Because we're going to have more millimeters, right? So we're going to multiply it by 10, all right? And what is our answer going to be? You can't see? Now can you see? What's 22,5 times 10? Come guys, 25. 25, absolutely. Okay. So my answer is 25 millimeters squared. Am I right?
Yes.
Absolutely wrong.
Why?
Why?
Millimeter.
We didn't square it.
We are squaring.
Yes.
Okay. And what's happened here is a problem that happens with so many matrics. Whether they're doing core maths, whether they're doing mathematical literacy, matrics make this mistake all the time. Guys, look here. I've got squared. Okay. And so what I tell my students to do, quite simply, is this. That when you've multiplied it by 10, okay, so when I've converted centimeters to millimeters, I just do it again. Why? Because it's telling me, hey, do it twice. So I'm going to do it twice. And I'm going to multiply it by 10 again. Okay? So what's 2,5 times 10? 25 times 10? 250. Okay? So we've got 250 millimeters squared. Ish. And that is something that causes huge problems in matric. So if ever you have to convert millimeters squared to centimeters squared, and guys, we know they're 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So I'm going to times by 10. But because it's squared, it means I have 10 this way and 10 that way. Okay, so it's times 10 times 10. Are we clear? Yes. All right, let's go on to another one now. We're running out of time so quickly today, it's unbelievable. I've got something like 9 questions here, and we're on question 3.3.1, and we've only got 7.5 minutes of the show to go. So life is really, we go, yeah, okay. Right, given that 1 inch is 25,4 millimeters, convert 85 inches to centimeters. Got a problem with that? My problem is they've given me how many inches in a centimeter, but my question's not asking how many centimeters, folk. It's asking to convert to millimeters. How many millimeters in an inch? Got that? All right. So I'm going to say this. I know that 1 centimeter equals 85 inches. Right? How many millimeters in a centimeter? 10. So I know 10 millimeters is equal to 85 inches. Okay? No, I've got it all wrong, eh? It's the other way around. Let's do that again. Quickly. Okay? So 85 inches to a centimeter. I'm sure it's supposed to be the other way around. Okay, 85 centimeters to an inch. They've kind of messed up this question a little bit. All right. So, but what we've got to do is we would have to convert centimeters into, or centimeters into millimeters. And once we've got it in millimeters, then we convert it into our inches. All right. Because the horrible thing here was millimeters and centimeters. Right, let's get on to a nice, interesting question. A supermarket assistant has to pack tins like the one shown onto a shelf. The dimensions of the shelf are 0,5 meters by 1,5 meters. What is the diameter of the base of one tin? All right, now, radius and diameter. What's the relationship between radius and diameter? How many radiuses make a diameter? Two radiuses make a diameter. Agreed. Because a radius, if I were to draw it, a radius is from the center of the circle to the circumference. So from the center of the circle to the circumference. So that's a radius and that's a radius. Got that? Okay. So if I give you a question and I tell you what the radius is, how are we going to work out the diameter? Just multiply it by 2. Absolutely. And what's 4,3 times 2?
8,6.
8,6. Nice. So I've got 8,6 centimeters. All right, that's straightforward and easy. Let's look at our next question. Our next question says this. If the length of the shelf is 1,5 meters, how many tins would fit along the length of a shelf? Right, guys. Now, I've got my shelf, and on my shelf, I'm putting tins. Agreed. Now, how long, and I'm using the word long, but it's the wrong word, is this tin from there to there? Let me use a different color so you can see it. From that part to that part. How long is the length of that whole tin?
8,6.
It's the diameter, isn't it? Okay, which means it's 8,6 centimeters. So I know that's 8,6 centimeters. So the question is asking me, if I have a length of 1,5 meters, right, because that's how long my shelf is, how many of these tins can fit on? How am I going to do that? By dividing, absolutely. So let's do this division. So I'm going to say, right, I've got 1,5 meters. Let's just try and extend this page quickly. I've got 1,5 meters. And I'm going to divide it. How wide was my tin? 8,6 centimeters. Okay. 8,6 centimeters. Right. I have a huge problem right now. What's my problem? I'm dealing with meters and I'm dealing with centimeters. And guys, you cannot deal with meters and centimeters. They just don't go together. Okay? It's like me and my mother-in-law. We do not go together. Okay? It causes huge problems. So, meters, centimeters, let's change everything to centimeters. That's going to be easier. Okay? Now, how many meters or how many centimeters in a meter? There are 100. Agreed? Okay. So 1,5, to change it to centimeters, we're going to times by 100. So how many centimeters do I have? 150 centimeters. And I'm going to divide it by 8,6 centimeters. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now comes our calculator, and we're going to say, right, 150, divide that by 8.6. Equals, and I'm going to get an answer of 17,44. So my answer is 17,44. 17,44 what? Cans. Do you agree? Because I'm trying to work out how many cans. So it's 17,44 cans. Now again, folk, I have a huge problem with that answer. What's my problem? I can't have 4 of a can. Do you agree with me? Yes. Imagine you guys going into a shop. Alright? And I'm not allowed to mention shops on the air because it's illegal. But let's just pretend we go into a shop where we're going to pick and pay for something. So now what we do is we go into a shop and suddenly there's less than half a can. Alright? Are you going to want to buy it?
No.
No, first of all, because everything would have oozed out. Yeah. Okay, and second of all, why buy a bit of a can? Okay, so how many cans can fit on the shelf? 17 cans. Would you agree on that?
Yes.
Okay, so 17 cans. Now I'm going to ask you a question that is not here, but let's just look at it. What happens if my answer was 17,999 cans? Well, how many cans can I fit up? 18. Absolutely wrong, eh? Why? Because this is saying you can only fit 17,999 cans. You can't fit a full 18 cans on your shelf. You can still only fit 17 cans. So in other words, you've got room, but there is not quite enough room to put another can onto that shelf. So I can push and push, but it's just not going to fit. Okay, there's a little bit where it just doesn't fit. Guys, can't fit on. Okay, because if it was 18, I can fit 18 in. But even if it's 17,99, I cannot fit 17 cans on. Got that? And that is a very, very, very important lesson we've got to remember, especially you guys in matric, because we like to give questions like this to trick you. Okay. I've got to sign off now. It's been great being with you guys. Thanks for coming all the way from Port Elizabeth. I hope the rest of your tour is great. Okay? Over to you.
Mindsetters, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in and for having us on your sets and watching us and all of that. Just some final words from you. Shout outs, anything you want to say?
I want to say hi to my family and friends. 12A for sure.
Ah, okay. All right, I'd like to thank the KwaZakhele High School guys for joining us in studio. Just say, when I say goodbye now, you guys are all gonna. Thank you so much to Macmillan and everyone for tuning in. And from us, until next time, let's all say bye, guys.
Bye.